Okay, so welcome back. We've got our basic drums set in, working quite nicely with our chords. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get multiple outputs for the impulse so that we can assign effects and treat the sounds individually. The advantage over the drum racks is that we can use the send and return method with each of the audio outputs. So I'm going to add some audio tracks. This first sound is going to have its own audio output, so I don't need to set one up, but I need to get some for the other slots. So we're going to create 7 audio tracks, and then we're going to come and we're going to click on all of the audio outputs so they're all selected, and then we're going to come in from the impulse. Whatever you've got labeled here, might be a good idea to just label this drum kit or whatever, and then we're going to go monitor in. So I'm doing that while they're all selected, just makes my life a bit easier. And then individually, this is where we come in. So I'm going to take the second sample here, because again the first one is going to be the kick or whatever sound you've got in the first slot. So what do we got here? The second one, third one, fourth, and the fifth, sixth, seventh, and 8th. Sometimes you'll find as well that it kind of comes out a little bit loud, so I'm just going to select them all and just bring the levels down a little bit. Okay, so you can see I've labelled each of the individual outputs. Worth doing, especially if you've got a few of these instances of impulse. So going to come over to the kick first of all. This is our 808 kick, and I'm just going to come and pop on just some EQ first, just to give it a bit of shape. So I'm just kind of scooping out the kind of low mids here. So we've got this kind of peak at the bottom falling down. The main frequency energy there being sort of about 55, 56 hertz. So what I can do is I can also boost at that point as well if I felt I wasn't really getting enough sub. Got to be a little bit careful when doing this, but a little bit definitely helps, I think. So I'll say 56. Now it's going to give a little boost there, like so. So with the kick, what works quite nicely with sort of 808 kicks, quite rounded kicks, is some saturation. So I'm going to go soft sine mode. I'm going to add some drive going into the saturator, and then I'm going to take out the same equivalent. So we're not really adding volume, we're just adding drive. So if I turn it off, you can see we haven't actually gained any volume there. Just got that sort of drive feel. We'll add some compression too. Not too much, because I do want some depth from the kick. And then over to our little woodblock sample. So I'd probably throw on just a basic bit of EQ onto each channel here. And then what I think I'll do with this, we'll add a little ping pong delay. This is a nice little delay. What I'm going to do is just take the synchronization off and just set a time in here. So we're kind of getting this flamming effect, like so. That's quite nice. I've also got a little frequency bandwidth here that we can assign to the actual delays. Over to our clap. A little bit of compression on there, I think. Maybe add some reverb. Again, not too much. I'm not trying to drown the sounds here in effects. So, nice tom sample here. Take away some low frequency energy, making room for the kick and stuff. Also, some highs as well. And let's have a little look at this. So what I'm going to do here is pop on another reverb. And this time I want to go for a nice big long spacious sound. going to low cut it as well. But I'm going to really thin it out. So yeah, that's nice. So it's not too intrusive, but it's nice and long. Got a little preset on my auto filter here, slow spin. And you can see that I've got the LFO rate time set to every 8 bars. So we get this full falling and rising of the LFO. Over to the second tom. And just some basic EQ. And I might leave this just how it is at the moment. Another little snare. And I've got some of my return effects set up. So I've already got here a nice little kind of dubby delay set with the filter delay on return B. So again, that's what's quite nice about the Impulse and having separate outputs, is this ability to use the send return. Okay, so what's next? Little random hit here. Maybe we'll kind of leave this as it is. And then we've got hi-hats here. So I'm going to help this along a little bit with some EQ8, and I'm just going to thin it out a touch. So we've got these nice thin hats. I'm going to add some Q as well. It's giving it a bit more character. Start to pan each of the individual sounds as well. So I might take tom 1 into the right and tom 2 to the left, kind of mirror opposites. So I'm fairly happy with the beats, but I thought I'd design my own kick to go along with it, something a bit more specific to the track. So I'm going to come and create a new MIDI track here, and I'm going to load up the operator for this. So we're going to arm the track, and obviously you can hear that the default waveform assigned is a sine wave, and we're going to stick with that. So I'm going to come down to the volume envelope here, and we're going to take sustain all the way off like so. It's going to shorten the decay just a little bit here, and then next we're going to turn on the pitch envelope. We'll take this all the way up to 100%, and you can kind of hear it's already beginning to sound a little bit more like a kick. I'm also going to adjust the peak level to, and then we're going to take the decay down. So a little bit too actually far down on the keyboard there. Let's come back down a bit. We can take the pitch envelope down just a little bit here. And also we've got the time as well, which is going to add a little bit of kind of depth to our kick. Got the filter as well. I can take shaper here. I might go over to sine. Gives us a slightly harder edged kick. So there's our basic kick in there now. I'm going to give it a little quantize. So just do Command U, making sure my quantize settings are 1/16. Don't need the triplet, just a straight 1/16. And of course I can help this along a little bit further with things like EQ8. Again, just kind of knocking out, as I did with the previous kick, just that kind of low mids there where it starts to get a little bit bulky in the low mids, and compression. finally, what I'd like to do is to group all of these different drums together so we've got control over everything at once. So what I'm going to do is just drag the operator kick in here. We're just going to select everything, right click, group tracks. So now we've got all of the drums kind of coming through one group, and then I'm going to throw on something maybe like the glue compressor, just for some compression over the overall kit. And yeah, what's nice, all these individual outputs, obviously if I got to structure my song, you know, I've got all of the different kind of parameters such as automation on the individual effects and all of the outputs, and I've still got all of the MIDI information as well, so I can further create more fills and change the beats however I feel.